I want to welcome on the line. This is Darren Pryor, and Darren is very heavily involved in the Irish language in an Irish language residential project called Gailge.ie. Punk.ie. Darren, you're very welcome to the show. Tá fáilte Jack, goodie Radio Pobail Luain.
Gnó Mhaigh Eo, Deirdre, thanks. It's great to be in the programme tonight.
Yeah. Darren, tell us what is this project exactly about? Gailge.ie, Punk.ie.
Punk info. It goes back to 2004 when I was a member of a voluntary Irish language organisation, Gael-Taca, who have an office in Cork City. For a couple of years they had a branch in Dublin, and I was a member between 2004 and 2007. And the biggest thing, we did different kinds of work for Gael-Taca voluntarily, but the main thing I was interested in was helping their then marketing director at Park O'Cunafan to get new residential areas named in Irish. Obviously there are not many, we didn't succeed in Dublin very well, but in a lot of counties around the country, Park was very successful in persuading property developers to name new areas in Irish. And then I left Gael-Taca in 2007. Park actually died the following year, and so in 2009 I started to research the names of. I already had a lot of research done, but I started to create slideshows on slideshare.net of not all the counties in Ireland, but all the counties in Ireland that had a significant number of them named in Irish. So I have presentations done on SlideShare for well over 20 counties, I think.
I think Westmeath and Roscommon are included in your counties.
Oh yeah. I believe there are 28 in Westmeath. There's actually another one in Mullingar I haven't added to it yet, so 29 in Westmeath. But yeah, so I've been working on the project since 2009. I changed it to a new website recently. It was originally on SlideShare. Then a couple of years ago, SlideShare changed their kind of rules, so I left SlideShare. The slideshows are still there, but then I was uploading on a page of my blog on Facebook, and now I have a specific website for www.info. So it's a work in progress. You know, I only update it once every few months, because obviously there are not a lot of new residential areas getting built nowadays. In some areas there are in Dublin, I think. But yeah, I haven't updated the actual research for the new names in a few months. But yeah, it's something to do. It keeps me occupied a bit, you know.
Why are you particularly interested in this?
I just love the Irish language, you know. I have a lot of Westmeath heritage, actually. My mum was from Mullingar, and I lived there when I was a kid for a few years, and she's an Irish speaker, and her father was an Irish speaker, and he died before I was born now. But I have a lot of Irish in my family. Like, I have one sister, and she's an Irish teacher in Dublin, and I just want to promote the Irish language. I want the Irish language to be physically visible. Like, a lot of people go to, thousands of people go to Irish language night classes every year as adults, and they come out of the classes with improved Irish, but they don't see the Irish much apart from maybe on road signs or whatever, where it's typed smaller. So like, I want there to be a good physical Irish language environment in Ireland. I don't expect the Irish language to be bigger than English or anything, but I want the Irish language to be seen commonly around the country, not just as regards to state policy, which I think is great if there is a good bilingual policy, but in the private sector, it isn't just developed residential areas. I'd love to see businesses like supermarkets and stuff and banks use the Irish language more as well, you know. Like, I'd love to see the Irish language be a lot more spoken in Ireland, and everything that helps encourage that and make that happen is a good development, you know.
Darren, did you see the videos going around? The Swiss police have challenged the Gardaí in Ireland to do dancing to do a dance video, and they have done it.
I saw that reported, but I didn't actually watch it yet.
Yeah.
Well,
it's Irish dancing, so there was a lot of interest in Irish dancing on it. There's a lot of Irish dancing on it, and it was fun. And the Gardaí have put a challenge out to the country to do more Irish dancing. So if you look, you'll find loads of people doing Irish dancing. It's made it popular. I felt like I wish mine had been better. Do you think something like that could happen with the Irish language? You need something to give it a wake-up call, an impetus. Like the banks, some of the ATMs were as Gaeilge, and most people in Ireland have a cúpla focal, but we're a little bit frightened or not confident about using it.
Yeah, I think what's happened with Irish dancing is illustrative of what could happen possibly with the Irish language. Like the huge growth in Irish dancing around the world goes back, I believe, to river dance. And I remember watching a documentary on Riverdance years ago. Michael Flatley was saying that up until the very night of their Riverdance on the Eurovision 1994, whatever it was, Michael Flatley and his colleagues on the project were getting pressure from traditional Irish dancers, teachers and stuff, saying you shouldn't be doing it, just a change in the rules and stuff. Yeah, I think some of the rules as regards the Irish language should be changed, and I think a lot of people, I don't know much about in Athlone, but in Dublin anyway, think that a lot of people think the Irish language is both. But yeah, I think that stems from a few policies. So I think we should have a more liberal approach to the Irish language.
One of the videos with the Irish dancing is actually entirely as Gaeilge, and I think it's featured on TG Cahir as well. And so you have construction workers who are chatting in Irish to each other, and a little bit of thou says Gaeilge freshen.
Oh, that's right. I didn't actually see that yet, so I must have a look at that, yeah. But yeah, I can talk to you if you want about policies, if you want. Like, I think, I don't think this is the number one policy on top, but I would personally think the Irish language should be optional for the Leaving Cert. I agree in Irish being official language in the EU, but I don't think it should have. I think it should be more limited. I think, like, this whole thing the government went for a couple of years ago, getting full status for the Irish language, I think the demand isn't there amongst citizens for it. So I think a lot of people think that the whole thing, the EU, is rubbish because of that. As I said, I'd like to be official, but I think the services should be more limited, because like a lot of our speakers will argue with this, but I think we only have about 50,000 native or fluent Irish speakers on the island of Ireland. Some people think we've over 1 million. Well, if you include the cúpla focal, but yeah, I could talk all day about policies, so I know we haven't got enough time to go through it all today.
Just out of curiosity, now before the COVID pandemic shut a lot of places, but there's at least 2 Kirkle chorals in Athlone. There's one in Ballinasloe, and there's one, I think, in Loughrea. Now there's probably others in the area, so there is a definite interest in it. But anyway, back to Gnó Mhaigh Eo, and sorry about that I forgot to put I put .ie instead of .info. Okay. But what about, have you any examples around Athlone? Because I know I have seen them, but I just can't recall them off the top of my head.
Yeah, but before I came on the program, I just double checked my SlideShare on SlideShare.net. I believe there were 4. Well, I have 4 recorded. I can't even think of 2 of the names off the top of my head. Inishcarrig is one, apartments Inishcarrig.
That's right, Inishcarrig, yeah.
There's another apartments for students, I believe, in the IT called Cree Olga, which is a lovely name. I haven't got the other 2 names off the top of my head, but I have 4 recorded in Athlone, and 28 or 29 in Westmeath in general, which is pretty good for Westmeath, because like there's so much land to be there to be developed in the future in Westmeath that if a significant or a lot of them were named in Irish would be great. Like, I live in Castleknock in northwest Dublin, and so in Castleknock there's a lot of people living in Castleknock. It's a huge area, but we only have one area named solely in Irish, Dunrue Apartments, the Castleknock Village. We have a couple of areas named bilingually, but yeah, like during the Celtic Tiger, a good few of the new residential areas in Westmeath in general were named in Irish, and Longford as well. Meath and Roscommon, significant number, I suppose, but not a very big number. But yeah, like Athlone is doing pretty good as regards over the last 20 years, but with four, as I said, I live in Castleknock, there's only one, you know.
Yeah, I know and there's one in Monksland. I know I've passed it along there. Monksland is on the Athlone side. It's the Roscommon side of Athlone.
Right.
So it is. So there's, and Inishcarrick, of course, is well known in Athlone.
Yeah.
And there's a new development being discussed at the moment around about Grace Park Road, Athlone, where St. Mel's is. And, that'd be an ideal opportunity to maybe for people who are listening to talk to the council and see could we make it by either bilingual or completely Oscuelga.
Yeah, like I personally love most residential areas to be named solely in Irish, but I also welcome personally areas being named bilingually as well. Yeah, I'd recommend people listening go on to the Westmeath County Council. In Dublin, we have there are 4 councils in Dublin, and I live in Fingal, and there's an online portal now, only recently, last few months, started on the Fingal website, and I checked the other 3 councils in Dublin, and they also have the portals on the other 3, so I assume it's the same in Westmeath and other places. I'm not sure at all 100%. But if there's an area getting built or development or plan, you can make a submission on the portal now on the internet, and your submission is logged, so I would encourage people to, assuming you have that portal, or if you don't, just email the council or the councillors or both, and say you want it in Irish or bilingual or whatever, I would encourage that.
That sounds like a great idea. That sounds like something the public could get behind straight away, in view of the fact that there is a development being discussed or proposed at the moment. Darren, I want to thank you very much for coming on the show. Sorry about the delay in getting to you. Things happen when you have live programs.
Yeah, I could be doing another interview with, I believe, Oscuelga soon, couldn't I?
Yeah, we'll have another interview entirely Oscuelga, and we will broadcast that next Thursday around about the same time.
That's good. Gaillimh le Gaeilge.
Okay. Gaillimh le Gaeilge, Darren. Now, that was Darren Pryor, and Darren has an Irish language residential e-project, www.animnacagaeilge.info.